I honestly didn't realise that, like, obviously I know that whatever happened back then, it was terrible. But I didn't realise it was this terrible. Hey guys, welcome back to Curry and Dumpling. So today we're doing another reaction video. What are we reacting to today?
So after we posted the, Indian Army Nation First video, we got a lot of comments and hatred on my lack of knowledge about Indian history, or the fact that I have lost my Hindi speaking or Hindi, reading Hindi, and a lot of stuff like where I said there was some stuff that the Brits did for India. It was not the worst thing. I mean, I know it was really bad. So there's a video that came out by Vice India recently about how the Brits stole $45 trillion from India over the years when they were ruling over us. So there's a video about this topic and we'll be reacting to that. And obviously it's something I want to learn about, and as a Brit yourself, you would be surprised to know, because they never teach you in this in school.
Obviously no.
We always thought about this. You never thought about this. So that'll be quite a nice reaction. So
okay.
Hopefully it's not too bad, but I know it's gonna be really sad because Brits literally ripped us apart.
There is a kind of half-assed liberal idea that while colonialism wasn't great, at least Britain gave India the trains. And maybe that's something they should be thankful for. After all, trains are pretty useful, especially in the 7th largest country on Earth. So, colonialism, maybe not all that bad. Unfortunately, Britain also stole $45 trillion from India, all the while exploiting religious divisions between the Hindu and Muslim communities and further turning them against each other. And those beloved railways, they became the sites of mass slaughter while Britain sat back and watched. Empires of Dirt, a show about Europeans getting rich at the expense of everyone else.
Basically what I was saying. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Britain first got involved in India through the East India Company, which had its headquarters right here on Leadenhall Street. A private company owned by London stockholders, the East India Company grew over the next 300 years
so the
to become
East India Company is not an Indian
body
company.
with its own army and laws responsible for
okay.
trading spices, cotton, silk and tea all over the world. By 1858, ownership of the East India Company had been transferred to Queen Victoria after the failed Indian Rebellion. Trains were the brainchild of British engineers. The East India Company would use railways to transport exploited resources like cotton and coal more efficiently around India. And it worked. Between 1853 and 1924, a railway network was created to help Britain extract from India relentlessly. And it's not like we gave India the railways either, by the way. We made India pay for them, and we ripped them off in the process. Despite Indian mechanics having their own efficient, chic designs, Britain made India buy trains from them. Between 1854 and 1947, over 14,000 locomotives were imported from the UK to India. Initially, Indians weren't even allowed to work on the trains. They were staffed entirely by white people, from the board directors to the ticket collectors. The railways made little profit, but British shareholders who invested in its construction made vast returns, guaranteed at the expense of Indian taxpayers who had to pay for it. India's railways were basically like someone burgling your house, building a ramp to wheel all your stuff out, sending you a bill for that ramp, and expecting a round of applause at the end of it. Now that the railways were built, Britain could get down to the task at hand, squeezing India for every last ounce of profit. They were really good at it. In the 1600s, when the East India Company was established, Britain accounted for less than 2% of the world's GDP, while India accounted for almost
What?
By the 18th century, Britain had become one of the most powerful empires in the world, while the prosperity of the Mughal Empire was fading fast.
Mughal Empire.
Britain relentlessly squeezed India for every last bit of resource for its own uses. In 1943, up to 4 million Bengalis starved to death, partly because their food was diverted towards British soldiers during World War II. Winston Churchill said the famine was their own fault for breeding like rabbits. After it
Winston
was no
Churchill
longer
was a
profitable
horrible
to
person.
remain in India, and after receiving huge pressure from the Indian independence movement, the British finally left in 1947.
Yay.
Before they went, they split the country into two: Hindu-majority India and Muslim-majority Pakistan, in an act that became known as Partition.
Why
But in
did
their
they do
haste to
that?
get out of the country,
Divide
British
and conquer,
diplomats
divide and rule.
arranged a shoddy partition agreement that ignored the fact there would be interreligious conflict. Cyril Radcliffe, the British lawyer assigned to draw the borders of Pakistan and India, was given 40 days to
That
do
was
it.
also Pakistan.
After
East
partition,
Pakistan.
millions of Muslims trekked to Pakistan and what is now known as Bangladesh, while Indians and Sikhs headed the other way. Violence between Pakistan and India ensued. Within a year of the British leaving, 15 million people
my
were displaced, and
gosh.
between 1 and 2 million people were dead. Trains became the sites for mass murder during the migration. Trains filled with refugees crossing the border on each side were stopped, and everyone on board was murdered.
What?
Women were captured and raped. Carriages were set on fire with petrol, with people still inside. The only ones spared were the drivers, so they could transport their trains full of dead bodies to the final destination. The British knew about the train massacres, but they'd already washed their hands clean of India. Prime Minister Clement Attlee, writing to Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India in 1947, said, "Keep India united if you can. If not, save something from the wreck. In any case, get Britain out." Despite all this, the 4 million starved to death, the careless partition, the $45 trillion they stole from the Indian people, many don't think that the British did anything wrong in India. A YouGov poll in 2014 found that 59% of respondents thought the British Empire was something to be proud of, and only 19% were ashamed of
I
its
don't
misdeeds.
think everyone knows
Trains,
what
cricket,
happened.
Empire.
That's why.
What could possibly be wrong with that?
That was a really good video. That was really
I mean,
interesting.
it's a Vice video, so
Yeah, I like
you know,
Vice, yeah.
they make some really good content.
I honestly didn't realize that, like, obviously I know that whatever happened back then, it was terrible. But I didn't realize it was this terrible.
Yeah, so I knew how bad it is. It's just, I guess, living abroad, living outside for India, out of India for almost a decade, kind of put me out of touch because you forget.
Yeah.
Um,
And obviously I don't learn anything like this.
Yeah.
Like, I learn about how great we were in the World War, how we won the World War II, you know, how we defeated
Yeah.
Hitler.
No, we go through a very deep lesson of how, from the Mughal empires, even before that, the Indus Valley civilization, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, from that to, you know, India progressing, the Mughal empires, and then the Brits coming and just tearing apart the country, and then the
So the partition, was that because India was too powerful as a whole, and so they thought, we'll
so
split you up?
I need to read about it again.
Oh,
I've
okay.
forgotten. Yeah.
Maybe we can watch another video on that. I'd
About
like
Indian,
to know.
Indian part and the logic behind partition. What I remember from my history lessons back in school was they believed in this thing called divide and rule, divide and conquer, right? Because India's strength is unity, right? The people,
Yeah.
obviously there are people who want separate lands. There are
Yeah.
Muslim people who want their own country, and you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It just, I think they saw the opportunity in breaking down the country. Religion is a big part of the country, right?
Right.
And you have multiple religions in India, Hinduism and Muslim being the biggest two.
Okay.
And I thought that was the best way to kind of defeat us.
So before, was this when India was actually called Hindustan?
It is still Hindustan.
Oh, it's
It
still
is
Hindustan.
still Bharat. It is, obviously the Hindustan comes from the land of Hindus,
Oh,
right?
okay.
But that doesn't mean today if you say Hindustan, people don't understand. It's still India. If you go and say Hindustan, it's still...
So in India, was where Pakistan is, did that, because that used to be in India, right?
Yeah, so Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, it used to be one big piece of land and everybody used to live together peacefully.
Peacefully. So what happened, like, why did fights happen? Like, now that they've been split?
I think we should watch a video on this.
Okay.
Because I don't want to misinform you, misguide you.
Yeah.
Because what I remember or what I'm biased towards,
Okay.
I don't want to be that person. So I want to, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm giving the wrong information.
Yeah.
So we would like to watch something together.
Or let us know in the comments below. Like, I'd love to learn.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, everything.
What caused this and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, or if you have a link for an amazing video, do share it with us and we'll watch it and react to that.
Because then surely also there must be people who, like, there must be blended families from way back when, you know, where maybe like a Hindu person and a Muslim person might, you know, things happen.
Yeah.
If they did get together,
I mean,
then
it
families would be torn apart, no?
Yes,
By
and
this.
also the fact that it was not like where Pakistan is today is not always, I mean, yeah, predominantly it was Muslim people living in that area, but there were also Hindu people living in that area, right?
Yeah, so everyone migrated to be where
Yes.
the
So
other
as far as I
Hindu
know,
people were, right? Yeah.
my ancestors,
Yeah.
they used to be in Bengal when Bengal was just Bengal.
Okay.
West Bengal and East Bengal. East Bengal is Bangladesh, obviously,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
the reason why West Bengal is called West Bengal is because there was West Bengal and there was East Bengal,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And East Bengal is today is
Yeah.
Bangladesh, which was Pakistan back in the day.
Okay.
So yeah, like from what I know, like if you go multiple generations back, during the migration, there were ancestors who migrated towards West Bengal, and that's why I ended up in India.
So if your ancestors hadn't migrated, they would have been
In
Bangladeshi.
Bangladesh, and I would be in Bangladesh today. I don't know, or maybe like it really depends, right?
Yeah.
And there are certain people in Punjab
Yeah.
who migrated from Pakistan because it's
It's next.
it's
is it
next to
close?
each other. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's bordering state.
Okay.
So Punjab borders with Rajasthan and Pakistan. So there are a lot of people, Sikh people, Punjabi people who still live in Pakistan, Hindu people. Those who were not able to migrate, and those who did, obviously they migrated, right?
Is that also why? So you know, like in Pakistan, they speak Urdu, right?
Urdu.
Urdu. And then you guys speak Hindi, and it's very similar, right?
It is.
So you can kind of sometimes understand when someone's speaking
Yeah,
Urdu.
we definitely can understand when
Yeah.
we speak. It's written in Arabic,
Oh, okay.
so it's read from the left to right.
Okay.
And obviously I can't read Arabic because I've
Yeah.
never learned Urdu, but I can certain words, certain phrases, certain sayings. A lot of things are very similar. Like shukriya is actually an Urdu word.
Oh.
It's not even Hindi,
Oh.
if I'm correct. Because in Hindi it's dhanyavad,
Dhanyabad.
and in Urdu it's shukriya.
Shukriya.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
You taught me shukriya.
It's because it's easier
Ah.
and everybody will understand.
Dhanyabad.
Dhanyavad it's
Dhanyavad.
it's pure Hindi.
Okay.
So it's harder to actually say that, I guess. But yeah, it's quite interesting how India's history has evolved and what all has happened.
I wonder what India would be like now if that hadn't happened.
I know
It'd
I always
be a
wonder.
huge superpower, right?
It would be, yeah. It would be a big country, probably much more prosperous. I mean, India is obviously progressing and prospering at its unprecedented rate. But if that didn't happen 200-300 years ago,
Do you think there'll also be less poverty as well?
potentially, yeah,
Because there's quite a big gap in India, isn't there, between like
the ultra rich and
Yeah.
the really
ultra
poor.
poor, yeah.
This video just really opened my eyes, like how bad.
It was back then.
Yeah, like the consequences of
Yeah.
British rule,
Yeah.
even to date,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
affects
yeah.
the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should not be thanking the Brits for the trains or the language we speak today, or anything for that matter. I think so. I was wrong in that. I said we should thank them for the trains and the trousers and the language, but at what cost, right? At what, like my ancestors, millions and millions of people were slaughtered, raped and burnt alive, and they just stole money from us. Like So yeah. So
actually, a lot of British people, like our generation now, right? They know how bad it was. Like they do know that what happened in the past was bad. Like it's not like everyone's like, yes, British people.
Yeah.
They know, but obviously times have changed now, and they just hope that these types of things won't happen again.
Yeah.
But like it's not like everyone's like, oh yeah, everything that we did back then was great. Like people don't think that here. Everyone knows that things that happened.
Whoever I talk to, then they ask me, right? And I'm just like, yeah, you guys stole from my country and now it's my turn, so I'm here. I'm here to take your jobs. I'm here to just take your money and I'm gonna, take revenge. So it's time for payback in the smallest way possible, right?
Well, that's the thing, is that when some people here do complain about the fact that, oh, you immigrants are stealing our jobs and you immigrants are doing this and doing that. Well, you guys did that a long time ago too.
Yeah.
So
that was okay.
Yeah.
But now it's because it's your country that's getting hurt.
It's not even that
it's not even getting hurt. It's not even getting hurt actually, because if you take all the immigrants away from the country, all the expats away, the country it's gonna
function.
You
wouldn't have the nurses, you wouldn't have the NHS staff, you wouldn't have the people who do the jobs for cheap, because the people here don't want to do those jobs because they think they're too above it.
And it's not just that. The doctors, the engineers, the scientists, a lot of expat population are actually in these jobs, right? Like obviously you're not an expat, but you're still somebody whose parents migrated.
Yeah.
And now you are contributing back to the economy by working in a pharmaceutical research company, right?
Yeah.
And in a way you're paying taxes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's similar to
I am paying taxes.
Exactly. Right. So and the same way, like I'm here and I'm working in a British company, which is ironically it's being run by an amazing British Indian person. So kind of cool. So I come all the way to the UK and I work for a British company being run by an Indian person. But yeah, that's it's time for payback, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really nice video and
it was really good.
I hope you guys enjoyed our reaction. If you have any similar videos, obviously we would have loved to learn more about it, even though I should know about it. But watching with her is definitely a much more fun experience. So yeah, let us know. Just comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. And if you're new to our channel, we are a Chindian couple based out of the UK, and we do a bit of vlogging. We do a bit of interracial relationship stuff, and more recently reaction videos, because you guys seem to love it.
Click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and leave us comments below, because we like to read them all. Arnav reads them more than I do, because I really don't like it when we get bad comments. So I'd really appreciate it if people don't leave us bad comments. We do.
I don't see why there's so much hate against us.
Mainly against me. People don't like Chinese people, but we're not that bad, and also I'm British. Okay.
100% British, yeah. Like British and Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. So I don't see why you should be hating on her, or the fact that I'm married to her or she's married to me. We are happy, so be happy for us. And yeah, that's about it. So we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
See ya.